Welcome to Microeconomics, Market Challenges and Solutions. Today, we're exploring the friction between the theoretical beauty of competitive markets and the messy reality of the world we live in. We will move from the farm fields of the Midwest, where perfect competition nearly exists, to the boardrooms of global monopolies and the global challenge of climate change. Our goal is to understand when markets work, why they fail, and the clever policy tools, from carbon taxes to cap and trade, that can set them right. Let's begin with the baseline, the ideal of perfect competition. We start with the gold standard, perfect competition. In this theoretical model, thousands of small firms sell identical products. Think of a corn farmer in Iowa. They are a price taker. If the market says corn is $7 a bushel, that's what they get. They have zero power to raise prices. This environment is perfectly efficient because it forces firms to produce at the lowest possible cost. But it's also a world of razor-thin margins. To survive, a firm must understand its cost structure perfectly, specifically where its marginal cost meets its average total cost. This intersection is the break-even point, the minimum price needed to cover all costs, including the opportunity cost of the farmer's time. What happens when the market price drops? A firm enters the shutdown zone. If the price falls below the minimum average variable cost, the cost of seeds, fuel, and labor, the firm should stop immediately. But if the price is above that but below the total cost, they might keep producing in the short run to pay off sunk costs like their land mortgage. This highlights a key economic lesson. Ignore sunk costs. The money spent on a tractor is gone. Your only concern today is whether you can cover the costs of working the field. In the long run, firms earn zero economic profit, meaning they are doing just as well as they could in any other job. No better, no worse. The world is rarely perfect. Market failures occur when individual profit leads to social loss. The most common failure is an externality. A negative externality happens when a transaction between two people hurts a third party. Imagine the Great Smog of London in 1952. Factories made goods and customers bought them, but the smoke killed thousands of people who were never part of the deal. Because the factories didn't have to pay for the damage their smoke caused, they produced too much pollution. This gap between the private cost and the social cost creates a deadweight loss, a pure waste of human health and environmental resources. Governments have two ways to fix pollution. The old way is command and control, passing laws that mandate specific tech or limits. It's simple but often inefficient. The modern way is market-based policy, like the 1990 U.S. acid rain program. Instead of telling every power plant how to behave, the government set a total cap on sulfur dioxide and let firms buy and sell pollution permits. This created a market for the right to pollute. Firms that could clean up cheaply did so and sold their extra permits to those who couldn't. It cut emissions by 95% at a fraction of the predicted cost. It proved that markets can solve the problems they create. Externalities can also be positive. When a beekeeper puts hives next to an apple orchard, the bees get nectar for free, and the trees get pollinated for free. Both sides benefit without paying. This is what the Coase theorem explores. It says that if people can talk to each other without cost and property rights are clear, they can solve these issues through private bargaining. The orchard owner might pay the beekeeper to stay, but in the real world, transaction costs are rarely zero. If there are thousands of people involved, like with air pollution, bargaining fails. That's when we need a Pigouvian tax, a tax on the bad stuff to make firms internalize the cost of their actions. Beyond externalities, we have market power. In a monopoly, a single firm is the price maker. For most of the 20th century, De Beers controlled 90% of the world's diamonds. They didn't just mine them, they stockpiled them to create artificial scarcity and kept prices sky high. Monopolies hurt consumers by producing too little and charging too much. But sometimes a monopoly is natural, like a water utility or the power grid. It wouldn't make sense to have 10 different sets of water pipes under your street. In these cases, the government allows the monopoly but regulates its prices to prevent exploitation. Most industries sit between competition and monopoly, the oligopoly. Think of Airbus and Boeing. Every move they make is a strategic game. When Boeing launched the fuel-efficient 787 for direct flights, Airbus countered with the giant A380 for mega hubs. They are interdependent. They often face the temptation to collude and act like a monopoly, which we call a cartel. But because there's always a reason to cheat and steal market share, these arrangements often fall apart. Between them lies monopolistic competition, like coffee shops or clothing brands. There are many sellers, but they use branding to make their product unique, giving them a tiny bit of power over their own price. Some goods are fundamentally incompatible with markets. Public goods, like national defense or lighthouses, are non-excludable. You can't stop people from using them once they're there. This leads to the free rider problem, where no one wants to pay the bill. On the other hand, common resources like fisheries are rival but non-excludable. This leads to the tragedy of the commons. In 1992, the North Atlantic cod fishery collapsed because every fisherman had an incentive to catch as much as possible before someone else did. Without property rights or quotas, we end up exhausting the very resources that sustain us. Our last defense is smart environmental policy. To save the environment, we use carbon taxes. By putting a price on every ton of carbon dioxide, we force firms to balance the marginal abatement cost, the cost of cleaning up, with the marginal damage the pollution causes. If the tax is higher than the cost of switching to solar power, firms will switch. British Columbia saw this work in practice. Their fuel use dropped while their economy thrived. This is the ultimate goal of microeconomics, to use the power of incentives to align individual self-interest with the long-term survival of our planet. By pricing the things that matter, we can build a market that actually serves humanity. We have traveled from the ideal of the Iowa cornfield to the high-stakes chess of aerospace duopolies and the global challenge of climate change. The lesson is clear. Markets are powerful, but they have blind spots. They ignore pollution, they can be captured by monopolies, and they fail to protect common resources. Economics provides the diagnostic tools to see these failures and the policy prescriptions, like taxes, permits, and property rights, to fix them. Understanding these mechanics is the first step toward building an economy that is both efficient and sustainable. Thank you for joining this deep dive into market challenges.